Browns LB Carson Schwesinger sends confident message on QB Shedeur Sanders. Cleveland Browns have some big questions to answer this offseason. The biggest of the bunch revolves around the quarterback position, where the Browns currently feature a pair of rookies, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. After Gabriel got the first crack at being the team's starter last season, Sanders eventually stole the job from him midway through the year. The problem, of course, is that neither guy looked particularly great when they were under center. However, it appears Sanders will receive another shot at earning the starting job in 2026, and one of his fellow rookies, linebacker Carson Schwesinger, believes he has what it takes to be the team's quarterback of the future. While the Browns have some serious questions to ask regarding their rookie quarterbacks, one guy from their 2025 draft class that they don't have to worry about is Schwesinger. The second-round pick out of UCLA immediately earned a starting job as Cleveland's defensive playcaller, and he put up some big numbers: 156 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections, on his way to earning the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Sanders didn't enjoy as much success during his initial stint in the NFL, as he threw for just 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns during his 8 games of action. Of course, it is worth noting that the Browns' offense was in much worse shape than their defense, so Schwesinger had a lot more to work with than Sanders did. Still, the best quarterbacks are able to make plays, even when things aren't going their way. Sanders showed more of an ability to do that than Gabriel, but that isn't saying much. Schwesinger was quick to note how much Sanders grew throughout the course of the season, though, and with a full offseason of preparation, he believes he'll be ready to go by the time the 2026 campaign rolls around. Being able to go in there and run the offense as a rookie, it's a hard thing to do, Schwesinger said of Sanders on The Insiders. As somebody who's calling the defense, I think doing that on offense is a lot bigger of a job, but I have a little bit of understanding there in what it takes. Being able to do that and have the poise, and then you see growth every week, I think that's really what you can ask for. New Browns head coach Todd Monken appears to be a fan of Sanders, but that doesn't guarantee anything when it comes to the quarterback position moving forward. Cleveland will almost certainly add at least one new face to this room over the next few months, in an effort to provide Sanders and Gabriel with some real competition when it comes to the starting job. When it comes down to Sanders and Gabriel, though, the former showed more potential during his time on the field, which is why he is rightly viewed as the top option for the team at this spot currently. Things can change in an instant, though, and how the Browns address their quarterback position in free agency and the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft will ultimately tell us how they feel about Sanders moving forward. In a city that lives and breathes football, optimism is never given freely. It's earned in cold Decembers, in battered jerseys, in fourth-quarter stands that shake the lakefront. The Cleveland Browns know this better than most. They also know that every offseason is a crossroads, and this one feels heavier than usual. At the center of it all stands a young quarterback with a famous name and an unfinished story: Shedeur Sanders. The numbers from his rookie campaign won't silence critics. 8 games, 1,400 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. A handful of flashes wrapped in a season defined more by instability than rhythm. He took over the starting job from fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel midway through the year, but neither passer was able to fully steady an offense that seemed stuck in neutral. Yet inside the Browns' locker room, belief doesn't hinge solely on stat lines. Sometimes it grows in the quiet moments between defensive meetings and offensive install sessions, where teammates see something outsiders can't. That's where Carson Schwesinger enters the picture. Schwesinger, the second-round linebacker out of UCLA, wasted no time making Cleveland his defense. As the unit's playcaller, he tallied 156 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 3 pass deflections, production that earned him Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. While the offense searched for answers, Schwesinger became one. And when he speaks, people in Berea listen. On The Insiders, Schwesinger offered a message that cut through the uncertainty surrounding the quarterback room. It wasn't loud. It wasn't brash. It was steady, much like the linebacker himself. Being able to go in there and run the offense as a rookie, it's a hard thing to do, he said. As somebody who's calling the defense, I think doing that on offense is a lot bigger of a job. Being able to do that and have the poise, and then you see growth every week, I think that's really what you can ask for. It wasn't blind loyalty. It was perspective. Schwesinger understands responsibility. Calling a defense in the NFL is like conducting an orchestra while the music changes mid-song. Adjust the front. Shift the coverage. Read the quarterback's eyes. Anticipate motion. React without hesitation. Now imagine doing the offensive equivalent, with 70,000 fans roaring and edge rushers collapsing the pocket in under 3 seconds. That's the burden Sanders carried. From the outside, the Browns' offense looked disjointed. Protection breakdowns, miscommunications, drives that stalled before they ever found rhythm. But within that chaos, Sanders showed something harder to quantify: composure. He stood in against pressure. He extended plays when structure broke down. He didn't shrink. Was it perfect? Not even close. The best quarterbacks find ways to elevate those around them, even when conditions aren't ideal. Sanders is still learning how to do that consistently. But compared to Gabriel's earlier stint, there was a noticeable spark, an improvisational edge, a willingness to test tight windows. Potential is a dangerous word in the NFL. It can buy time, but it can't buy wins. Still, it's often the first sign of something real. New head coach Todd Monken reportedly likes what he sees in Sanders. That endorsement matters, but not enough to guarantee anything. Cleveland will almost certainly add another quarterback this offseason. Competition is the league's truest currency. Jobs aren't handed out, they're seized. And yet, inside the building, there's a quiet understanding that Sanders may already have a head start, not in experience, but in growth. Schwesinger's comments weren't about hype. They were about trajectory. Growth every week. That's what a defense notices. Linebackers see it in the way a quarterback manipulates safeties with his eyes. They feel it in practice when cadence changes draw them off sides. They recognize it when a young passer stops forcing throws and starts taking what the defense gives him. If anyone understands incremental improvement, it's Schwesinger. He transformed from rookie to defensive anchor in a single season, not because he avoided mistakes, but because he absorbed them. He learned, adjusted, commanded. In many ways, he sees a parallel path for Sanders. The Browns' defense has already found its tone.